What's up? It is Vicenu, or you can call me Ricky Trongo, or Wongo, or Bongo. Alright, so I want to tell you guys something before we do this 3D modeling session. Um, if you think everything is created on a PC on these games, yes, you're right. But if you actually think that the person using the PC itself is creating it on that, and that all is just AI in a sense, you have another thing coming. So for guys that say these things in the end, or they imply that in that sense, good job in that sense, because that gives me and other people an opportunity to showcase what we're talking about in that sense too. So in this video session, we'll be creating a character from A to Z, scratch. And I'll show you how to create armor for the characters as well. And this time, I'll show you how to create something very mechanical as well for this character. You can try this many ways and styles as well too. It takes as long as possible as well too. So I'm glad that I got these interactions for the past few days, and I've been learning more by craft and process. Because I have a feeling that there are some that will think that anything on the computer that's done on the computer or made with these button presses and keyboards is all AI. Friends, I would be like and say, then go ahead and say whatever you want to say. Because there's guys like me that know it from that scratching part. And that handled the process in the end too. So let's begin that. Also, you see this in the end too? You see all of this? I'm showing the keyboard and the mouse to show what that process is now. Back then I did this before, but I didn't fully show it in that sense. This time I have a very distinct reason for doing this. So let's start this right now. Let's begin. So I'm kind of glad people be saying these things, and I have an interesting angst to describe this. I look kind of fato, so yeah. Alright, I'm going to showcase this right now. I'm going to cover up this up too, so I'm going to show this video. So here we go. There we go. And there we go in essence too. There we go. You see that? That's the thing too. So I'm going to show this the way I want to show it. So for this case, we're going to be creating a mechanicalized character that's both humanoid, human-based, with some mechanical armor. And I'll show what I'm talking about. So glad for people to emphasize how I feel. And I'm glad to see what they think. Because some just don't really believe me. And that's actually the perfect thing about it too. Because I had to carry it up for a bit. I'm not that cool. Why would anyone be cool if they didn't do this in the end, bro? Let's begin, okay? Alright, we'll start with a cube. We're gonna press on view, viewport, front. We're gonna press this button here, right? That button is for X-ray. Click on that, we'll press edit. Now, what we're gonna do now is that we're going to look at our idea, and I can also show like a reference too if I want to, but for this case I don't really need to because I have the ideas already crafted from my understanding. So let's see. Now I know there's gonna be a guy like me trying to show this in the end too, so let's try this. So alright. To make this easier for me, I am probably going to do something like this. So I'm going to mirror this. So everything I mirror, it does that as well. So if I do this here in the end, I'm going to press this, and then I'm going to essentially I think this is okay. So now I'm going to essentially look at my stuff here too. Press this as well, here as well. Alright, now we got our cube. Press view, viewport, and press front. So we see this right. So press on these things here. You see how it moves like that? So what we can do from here is that we can create the base out of this. So don't really overthink where you're creating the base. When you actually create the base in that sense, you need to understand like what you're looking at. So looking at anatomy pictures or even body pictures could actually help you out create these things again too. So look at, yeah. So it's good to reference, and it's also good to look at your art in that sense what you're creating, but it's also good to actually know where the parts are coming from. So now I'm going to press front, viewpoint, front. Now I'm going to press extrude. I'm going to do this here as well, here too, and here as well, right here as well too. Then I'm going to press front, view, viewport, and I'm going to press top. Yeah, right. So now it's easier for me to look at, and I'm going to press I. I means you can insert faces again too. But inserting faces, you can do this like that, and then click on this, and click on all these things here again too. Press R to scale it to make it into a thing like that too as well. And then we're going to essentially do the same thing here as well. The last time I did this, I showed you the process of doing this as well, but now I'm going to show you a different way of doing this. So I'll show it like this, here, here, and here, 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 and here. And I'm going to press on this here too, here as well. And now we got ourselves the part of the arm that we need. To make it a little bit easier, we could essentially, let's actually make it easier for us by doing this. In front, viewpoint front here, click on that, and then click on this, press R. We do this here as well, we do this here as well. You see what I'm doing? I'm just trying to make it make sense. So, just take this out, take this out. Now view, viewpoint front. We do this here as well, like that, here as well too. And then I'm going to actually add more edge loops here because it needs more constructions as well. So we do this here as well. You see everything you see here are my button presses. So you look here again, you see how I'm using my mouse like that too? So now I'm going to show you what you can actually do to press this in the end. Now I'm going to be making these things structured in that sense. I'll make this here as well. And then we'll possibly fix this as well too. As well too. There we go. And then for our side, we're technically gonna sculpt this in that way too. By doing this, you're able to understand what I'm talking about. And here, press R. Do this here as well. Here as well. Here as well too. And then you see there's actually keys you can use to go out front as well. So I can press F1 and does that. 2, 3, and 4. See? These keys here, you can change your viewpoints depending on what you want. So here, I'm going to click on this, I'm going to click on this, and press R. I'm going to click on this as well, just like that, too. Just like that, yeah. And then I'm going to press this, press R. There we go. Step 2. And then step 2 here as well. Yeah. So now I can actually just do this here. But for now, I shouldn't do that. So I'm just going to essentially let this be extruded here. Then I'm going to press I to insert the faces here as well. Actually, a better way to do this is to essentially press I here like that. Press I here as well like that too. So like that. Here like that as well. Yeah, just like that. Alright, so we got our thing done in that sense. Actually, it's not even... You see, being very careful at this. So sometimes you have to look at everything that you're seeing and then see what you're actually creating. Here we go. And then we're going to click on this. We're going to press Alt to move around our camera, and now we're going to press E. We're going to essentially extrude this. So, and you see what I'm doing? It doesn't look that good. So I'm showing this to show what kind of mistakes you can actually make when you're designing something at that speed. So what you're supposed to do is that you're supposed to do this. Press this like that. So press along normals. You do it like that, it doesn't do it right. So you see, there's mistakes you can actually create when you're designing this in the end. So I'll just do this instead. Maybe make some edges here. And then I'm essentially gonna add in a space where I can do this. See? So I can stop that, and I can just do this here as well. And then I can essentially just extrude like that. I can Control E, and then I extrude. You see? Now we have this part here, right? So it shows it here as well. So what we just did here is that we actually created a separation in that sense, and that separation now is going to makes us do these things here. The reason I'm doing it like that is just show you that you can actually start extruding it like this too, or not extruding, but just moving the pieces. View, viewport, front. And by doing that, you press R, and then you can actually start making the body the way you're supposed to. And then you click on this here as well, and here as well. Press W here. Actually, give me a sec. Click on these two here. Yeah. So click like that, and just click on that. Okay, and we're gonna look at these two things here. We're gonna click on this. Press W here, and then this here and here, press R, and slowly we'll have our base we can use. You see? And we do this here, press W here too, and then press R here. Then we're going to press this here, click on these here, press R, click on that as well. There we go. So now we can essentially just click on this here as well. And then we can actually start doing this. So now there's actually some parts here that are there's a lot of things that we're looking at. So, okay. So. There we go. Control E. Actually, it's better to do extrude region. Front, viewport, front. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. So we have this base here, and then. So just in case anything happens, I could technically just clean this up too by doing this. I do this, and I click on all of these parts here, and then I'm going to say delete dissolve edges, or not this one. I'll dissolve edges here, and that will bring us to this point here. So what to do with this is that, considering what we did here in that sense, we could technically just clean this up in that sense. We're going to clean it up here as well. And then what we're going to do now is that we're going... Okay, I'm looking at this correctly. We're going to essentially just... take this off and this off. Which leads us to these two. We're going to delete the dissolve edges. And once you do that, it leads us to some of those things too. We'll do the same thing here as well. And we're going to clean all, actually, let's do this. Clean this off and this off. Then we're going to essentially clean this as well. This as well. By doing so, we can essentially make this a lot cleaner. So, yeah, I'm gonna dissolve edges. And now we have this, right? So, I forgot. I'm gonna take these ones off just to make it clean. And now we have something that we could technically use that won't be so complicated. Actually, in fact, if you want to choose to do so, we could technically just delete these in general too, because we don't no longer need them in that sense. You see how one can adapt and change depending what we create and do. So yeah, we're gonna take these off. So there we go. Just delete dissolve edges. There. Now it looks a lot simpler that we can use. And now we're gonna click on these here too, these here as well. We're going to use R to move them correctly. So we click on this, click on this as well. Use R as well. There we go. And now I'll press this. There's the view front. And I'm gonna press this as well. Press R. This as well. Okay. So we got this done. Now we're gonna go up into here, and we're gonna press the edges or the faces that we need, which are these in that sense. See that? First, we're gonna press Control E, and we're gonna press along normals. Don't do visuals, or else it's gonna make every face into individual faces. So this one, two, actually, one, two. There we go. And now we actually have our arms now in its sense. So we're gonna click on this, and we're gonna scale it right. So now we can make the arms a little more tangible to use. See that? Now we can use this now. So we now look at this now. You see what's going on? There is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Actually, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. See, there's essentially 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's like 2, 4, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So there's like 12 faces. That's technically what we need to do. So check this out. Now we're gonna press this. We're gonna press Control E, and now we're gonna make the neck in that sense. There we go. You see? So what's cool about this is that we can be a little bit more simple of our arms in that sense, and we won't have to do too much work by doing this. So we're gonna press Control E. We're gonna do extreme longs normals. We'll be doing this like that. And then what I'm going to do is that I'm first going to press R, and then I'm going to do this like that. And extrude like that as well. Now it looks like arms you can use now in that sense. You see? So now let's do this here as well. Here as well. Control E. Extrude region here as well. As well. And now we're going to make the feet now. You see how I'm doing it? I'm just creating the feet like that too. So Control E, make the feet like that. And then I'm going to essentially use R. Like that. There we go. So I'm gonna press this here as well, here as well. Okay, now we're going to click on this. We're going to click on this as well, here as well. We're going to essentially extrude these away from each other in that sense. You see what I'm doing? I'm just slowly doing this like that here, and I'm just going to quickly just extrude right like that. And then for this, we can essentially just extrude this here. W here, like that. You see? Now we have our feet now. So it's good for us to essentially extrude that. Just do it like this and just move them down. And then we're gonna extrude or loop cut by loop cutting like this. Just like that. And we're going to essentially, and now we're gonna need an extra like layer of it. But if you do that, you see how it goes back up here? So what you're supposed to do here is that you're not supposed to essentially extrude or loop cut like that. You need to essentially add specific parts to it like this in the end. We're also going to be talking about something about mirrors in the end, or modifiers based on mirrors. So keep note on that as well, as we're going to make this process a lot easier in the near future as well. So yeah, we're going to do this here as well. Now I'm going to press I. You can see how I'm doing it. I'm going to essentially find the right parts to do. Do it here as well. Here. It's I. And we're just going to exactly aim it right, or measure it right in that sense. Now we're going to do this. Press Control E. 1, 2. Afterwards, we're going to look at our things here. And then we're going to click on this. W, just like that, just like that. Same for this too. For this case, we can scale this to make it a little bit more evened out, and then we just press it in here as well, just like that. So now we have ourselves the feet. It's not complete because we didn't really actually really fully complete this. So this, and we're going to click on this as well, and we're going to click on this as well. Click on this as well. There we go. Now we have our things here. Well, look at that. That happened too. So we can make this here, and once you do that, it makes it into a quad. So don't have any n-gons or tris. N-gons are just like polygons. There aren't really quads. So we can do that. And now afterwards, I'm going to essentially clean this up, clean that up. This arm. Actually, start with this one first. Here as well. Start here as well, like that. And then I'm going to turn this better in that way. Actually, I think it's good for now. And for feet, you're supposed to actually change it in a way where you're not supposed to like make it so like same. Because feet themselves have like angles themselves to that extent too. Afterwards, you can try and do this, and just try and press R. Okay, so once we do this, this is where we're going to try and actually make our lives simpler by doing this thing here. But first, before we do that, we have to put our part here and here as well, you see? Now we're separating it in a way where now we're making details to it. For that, I'm going to put the feet here, and once you do that, in a sense, you can essentially create the bigger parts of the beat as well. So for example, I can essentially do this, and then I can click on these, and I can press E, and I can just like shape it right, shape it like that as well. And then I can essentially move these parts, press W, press E, and there, you see? Now we have the bigger part of the feet. So now we're going to click on this, so we're going to click on that, and we're going to move it. We're going to move it right, so now we can let the piece actually pull naturally in that sense. The next step will be the hands, and afterwards I'll give you a really easy shortcut on how not to do any of this, just do it at a very basic space. So we'll look into more and into that as well. So this, press R. There we go. And then I'm going to press this. Control E. Sort by region. There we go, you see? Now we have our feet, right? So this is going to be our baseline for this. This is not complete because we do need to actually like make this actually look believable in that sense. So we'll press R, and then we're going to slowly carve this knee into. Slowly in that sense. Just like that. There we go. And then afterwards, we're going to put this here and extrude this and extend this. By extending, you can make your feet look like that. Just like that. Afterwards, we're going to press this, press E, and just alongside that as well. And then we're going to decrease the size as well. And then just press W here. And then for this, we're going to essentially press R like that, just like that. There we go. And then just do this like that. Alright, that's good enough. Onwards to the hands. So to make this a little bit simpler, we can look at hand structures pretty well. So I'm going to be referencing some hands for this. So yeah, so So yeah, now we're going to look at this again too. Click on that. So now we have to essentially extrude here as well, and there as well. So I'm just going to use the knife cut for now, and that will make our lives a lot easier when we do this. Just like that. There we go. And actually, you see what's going on here? Now we have to essentially look at this, press R, do this as well. Now it looks a little more tangible to do. So we click on this, press I, control like that, click on this, press I, control S to pause that. Control extreme normals, right. We're gonna look at every single part, so there we go. 1, 2, 3. And we put 3 things here as well. Yeah, that works. Okay, cool. Then we could pop these ones off. SW, just like that. Now I'm gonna do something like here as well. Here as well. And then I can take a sculpt as well, and this is what it might look like as well too. Not for now, so now I'm gonna try and do this. Okay, so now I'm going to essentially put this here as well. Control E, like that. Extrude here as well. Press W here and here. Here as well. Press I, here's here as well. See, it's already turning into a hand now, funny enough, right? So now we're just gonna extrude this. And then I think I'm gonna just put this one's back. Press W here. Do this here. Move these correctly to make it more even out. And then I'm gonna slowly do these step at a time. Just like that. Okay, you see that? Okay. So we have our hand now. This is technically a low poly hand, but it should technically work for now in that sense. So okay, so we're gonna look at wireframe. Okay, I'm gonna try and just edit these. And I'm gonna click on all of these here. And just press W. Just extrude all of that. Okay, I'm starting to see something here, so Do it here as well too. And then I'm gonna replace this. Press W. There we go. Now we have our hand things in that sense too. Then we'll press R. Like that. And then press for D's in the end too. I'm gonna try and press here, on that, on these two here, on that as well, just like that, just like that. There we go. And that's it. That's our hand for now. Yep, even has those things too, so I'm gonna delete these ones here too. We won't need these right now. Actually, I think it's fine. Okay, this, okay. Okay, you see that? Okay. Now we have this now in the end, so, okay, our V2. So we're not going to look at these things here, because what we're about to do is that we're going to click on this, and we're about to take all of this out. Don't worry about it, we're essentially going to actually do something a little bit more specific for this. What I mean by specific, as in like, it would be a lot easier when we actually do this, so don't worry about it. We're going to return to this later. So there's a step that we have to do in order for this to actually fully work. So a second. There we go. And move it like this too. There we go. Now for the head. So the head itself is special because you can actually just box model it. But depending on the shape of the head, you can do a lot with it. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to use a UV sphere, and you click on the settings here. We're going to make this, since there's like 12 faces there, right? It's 12, and we make this around 12. Now it seems a little more functional, or we can make this into 6. See? There. Now it actually seems a little more like a round cube or something. We do this, right? And check this out. We look at everything here we see, right? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Bingo. That's enough amount of vertices or enough faces to actually put this here as well. So what we're gonna do now is that we're gonna try to do something a little more specific. Check this out. So we're gonna make the face here, right? So viewport front. We're gonna press W, and we're gonna start polymodeling the face. You see? So we're gonna click on this as well. Press W here, and then here as well. And then you see this? So we can take these two out, and then we can essentially press R, and then we do this here as well. So that's not really fully complete. We're gonna go all the way around to essentially make the face a little more specific, and then we do this. There, now it actually starts to look more like a face. It's not complete, but it's getting there in the end. We add in more edge loops. Don't put edge loops here, or else it's gonna break the illusion. So we're gonna be doing this here like that, here as well, here, and then this eye here. Actually, just like that. And then request things here, here, and here, 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 and here. I insert. In Maya, it's actually called offset, but for this case, we can do something more like this. And then we're gonna click on the edges here, this here as well, and then we're just gonna simply move it. Actually, we can move all of this in too, to make it a little bit easier for ourselves. And then we'll press R, and we're just gonna move it like that. Then afterwards, we're gonna click on these here, 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 and here. Press X. I think what's gonna happen is it does this. Save time. You can press this thing here. If it's symmetrical enough, you can save a lot of time with doing this. Like here as well. Now we're gonna move this up here as well. Like here as well. And here as well. Like that. And then we're gonna just press R, and then we're gonna make it smaller like that too. We move it like this. And then we have our nodes, right? So we press R as well, just like that. And then we're gonna press this here, 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 and here. So our mouth should be over here in that sense. So we're gonna press this here as well. Actually, before we do that, you gotta take these ones off. Top edges. Take these ones off as well. This is just me doing some extra work to make it a little bit easier in that sense. So, click on this here. 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 Just, and then does that. Now 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. This should be over here, and this should be over here as well. And if it does that, then just like that. Let's see. Okay, give me a second. Let's see. Alright, I guess that's good for now, so I'm gonna do this here, then I'm gonna click on this. So actually for this case, here, and it's R, it's here in the end too, and let's Control E. That's gonna make our nose net sense. And afterwards, click on these two here to make the nose fit this two. Just like that. As well. Just like that. Just like that. Actually, these are. These here as well. Yeah, check this out. Now I want to take these two out. Dissolve edges. So what I can do now, I'm just make this here like that. Here like that. Here like that. Here like that. Yeah. Now we're going to create the base here. Or actually, we can just do it like this. Click on this. It's eye. There's another eye here as well. Then we can make the part here as well. Then we can do as well. As well. Here as well. Remember, this model is not supposed to be so perfect, so making mistakes is actually not bad when you're creating something. Because if you try and make it so perfect in that sense, you will eventually make the mistake in the end too as well. So that's what I've learned when doing this in the end too. So there we go. Now small face. There we go. There we go. There we go. Then I'm gonna press this here. Stop there. And then we make this chin here like that. Just like that. Just like that. Just like that as well. That as well. And you see how I'm like slowly adding more details to it? That's how you actually do it, so you know. see, I made a mistake here too. So if you want to do it, just don't overdo it. So there we go. And if I try and do this now, I could technically just, yeah. So I could do it here as well. Just put that all the way over here. One. There we go. And there we go. There we go. Alright, so we have a very goofy face, but this is only to show something, or at least show what you can actually do when you're creating a new face. So check this out. Since everything's low poly, you can typically do more details later on, but this is how you create form and shape when you're doing it in the end. You see? Now you do this, and then you can make the lips bigger here as well. Make the lips bigger here, just like that. Here as well. Here as well, like that. Just like that. Yep, just like that. Now for the nose. We're going to use this nose here and here. Press I. Make an insert. Press E in that sense. And just make it really, really big. And we're going to be removing this as well. Moving it here as well too. And in this case, we're going to try and do this here. We won't need them. Since this is my own design, we can take some time and create our own styles to it too as well. Alright. There we go. So this R as well. There we go. You see that? Alright, now I'm going to... Yeah, that sounds about it. So we created this face here, right? Now, since it doesn't look like a true face, we gotta try and add this back in. So we're gonna sculpt the face more here and here. Just like that. And sculpt it like this. And look at that, we have something we gotta fix now. When we fix this, we can fix it as here as well. See? And then make it here as well. Here as well. Here as well. There we go. Alright, so we're going to do it face now. This is not perfect, but this is going to show what you can actually do once you know your basics in the end too. So this is going to be more of a buff character we can create. So, okay. And then for this face here, we're going to make the mouse a little more profound. Press W. You see? Now we're actually making some details on the face now. We're going to click on this. Click on these as well. Press W. Just basic as well. This arm. Just do here as well. This E here too. Then we're going to extrude, just like that. See here, just like that. And then click on these here. Put this W here as well. This here as well. Here as well. As well. There we go. Now we're gonna interesting face we got, but this should give us some like insight on what we're creating. On the previous videos that you saw in that sense, you started to see what kind of face I was creating based on like the intricate ideas of it. But for this one, it's a little more interesting because I'm not really trying to add too much to it, but I'm adding enough to imply what I'm talking about. So. There we go. So, oh, there we go. We do this, and we also do that as well. That should give us some more faces we can use, and we have our face here. We're gonna go here. And now we're just gonna slowly just. I want to make it smaller. Something like this, and smaller. And then we're going to add in more depth to this in the end. Check this out. Do this like that. Or we do like this. And then I'm going to click on these here. And then I'm going to click on this as well. There. Now we have something we can use, so this R here, there's that as well. Here as well. Okay, so now we can essentially do some work now. Alright, so check this out. We're going to do this, and I want to do generate mirror. Boom, we got ourselves a mesh we can use. Press apply, and now look at this. So we try and edit this in the end. We look at the body here. So what we just did is essentially the mirror modifier. That's the shortcut. So if you think your work sucks because like it's not really consistent in symmetry, use the mirror modifier to essentially work around that. See here, there are some issues we have here because we didn't fully connect it. But not to worry, we're going to click on this, and we're going to slowly connect it back, just like that. Here you see. Press F to focus. F is meant for focus. So now we're going to press this here. Actually, no, it's the magnet tool, that snap. We're going to press center, and we're gonna press arming closest and vertex. Now you press W, check this out. It actually does that now. Click on this, it snaps it together in that sense. See that? Just like that. So now we're going to click on this. See this? This is the setting you're going to need. Merge vertices to center. 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 Nope, that's all we need. Alright, cool. Now we have our base we can use now. You see that? And here we're going to just make it like that, like that. Now we make our feet a little bit more like that. So, okay, now we're gonna look at this. Looks good. Now we're gonna look at our things here, and I'm gonna try and press edit. Press R, and then we're gonna make it smaller. Edit here as well. Check this out. So we're gonna have to fix this too. So I'm gonna add our extra blue cups here, and then I'm gonna add this here, and then press W, just like that. All right, and then blue cups here, here, and here. I want to essentially this here, like that. Press W. In the upcoming sessions we're going to have, or in this current session, we might actually end up doing something with the face as well. So, and I'm going to try and do this, press W, and I'm going to try and do this here. Do you remember when the last time I showed you this in the face here, right? So what we're going to do now is that we're going to look at this. So you see what I did here? What I did here is that I actually changed my polygons in that sense and added quads. So that's actually a topology thing. When you create topology, you're not supposed to have like tris or n-gons. So you have to maneuver your way to understanding how your topology works in that sense. And by doing so, you kind of start understanding what you can do with it. So, let's see. There we go. Okay, so that's just a quad thing. However, what's not really been touched completely is just this part here. So we're going to delete here, spaces. So what we can do here now is that we're going to combine these two things together. Remember the last video I created about this? Remember that last video? Well, it's the same thing, but with more of that construction. So this is going to be a very ugly character we're going to be creating. And then, or not ugly, it's going to look very distinct, and then we're going to add armor to it as well. If you guys were wondering what the process is, so. Alright, so now we're going to join. Actually, press R here. There we go. Now press join. Actually, press W here. Just like that. we got what we needed, so I'm going to essentially show you what we can do with this. Press join, and then for this case, I'm going to actually make this maybe a little bit here like that. Now, press join, press edit, press A here, and slowly I'll be able to show what I'm talking about. So, yeah. So there's, let me check, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Same for this one too. So, alright, cool. Now what we're gonna do now is that we're gonna join these two together. Join these two, which they are. Press edit, and now we're gonna slowly connect these in the end. Using the same thing here. Just like that. And there we go. Now we're got our neck base done. We use X-ray here, and now we're going to essentially merge these together. Find a pinpoint, and then merge vertices here, and merge vertices here, 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 merge vertices here. Merge vertices here, merge vertices here, merge vertices here, merge vertices here, merge vertices here. There. Alright, now we've got our character in. So we're going to turn this off. We're going to look at this again. And then we're going to press edit. Click on this and just make the head shape a little bit more smaller. Smaller like this, just like that. Actually, a little bigger might be better in that sense. So just like that. Like this too. Here as well. Now I'm going to essentially do this here as well. Now, I also have to add the ears as well. So what I'm going to do here is that I'm going to take off some of the edges here. Or dissolve edges. Actually, it's better. It's easier to just do it like this. Like this as well. Just like that. Press R. Press W. Actually, yeah. There we go. This one too. So press I here. Press R here as well. And then I'm going to press give me a second. I think this is better. I do this here. Then move it down here as well. There you go. Press press I, then press Control E, do that as well, do it here as well, and then we're gonna press this here, press W here as well. Okay, this is essentially okay. Looks like a monkey here now, doesn't it? Okay, so what we're gonna do now is that we're gonna try and actually make this into here as well. We're gonna make this very buff. We're gonna make this a buff gorilla, armored gorilla, or something like that. Or we can make him have a very buff body mass like this. We increase this as well. We increase this. Ooh, look at that. He looks like a snow monkey now. Snow buff monkey from Japan. Yeah. We'll do this here like that, and then we do this here too. Since we have the base now, we can do a lot with this in the end too. So we're no longer restricted. We can actually do our work in that sense too. Just like that. 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 Yo, let's go. Looks so cool. Alright, so we're gonna do this here, and we do this here as well. We're gonna make it buff. Tough. Yeah. Look at that. Now we do this now. Now we're gonna click on this as well. Then we're gonna click on this as well. And if I want to try and do so, I can make him a little bit more like human. So I can just change the mouth like that too. Just like that, because we're all Homo sapiens too. So we're gonna just like add in more details to it as well. And then I want to add this here as well. Press W. There we go. Delete. Actually, faces. There we go. We got ourselves a pretty buff boy, or a buff man, tough man. Sculpt. And then we're going to just move these muscles right the way it's supposed to. Since it's an original character, we can do a lot with this in too, depending what we want to do in a sense. So, yeah. You see how it kind of looks buff in that sense? That's like the main point of it in the end. And just like create more shapes, and just make it more distinct. Okay, we got our base now. Yeah, it took us like an hour and let me guess, an hour and 18 minutes. Not bad for a base, so okay, let's see, what else can we do? Alright, you see we made a mistake here. This is supposed to be a little bit bigger here on the other side as well. So this is what we call polymodeling and polystitching. Polystitching is the concept of just stitching your concepts together or your assets into one mesh. So we do this like that, okay. But there's way more to this. So since we have the base now, right? We can do a lot more now and actually create cool things in the end. I'm gonna do this here, that there as well. Now I'll put this here as well. There, as well. And as you can see, this is all human made. By hand, by literal hands. 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 As you can tell, actually. Just wanted to be happy and express that. Even though it is in the goofiness of the fineness in this recording of art that I'm doing. Okay, I got my base done, so let's check this out. Okay. And oh, I forgot about this. So yeah, I'm gonna probably try to fix that. Oh, it's being goofy right now. That's not supposed to happen. Here, let's do this. Edit. we're back to our strong man, or buff man, or whatever this Homo sapien is in that sense. Alright, so we are at 1 hour and 25 minutes. This is actually pretty fast for a model. I am not going to lie, this is actually pretty fun. It stretches my hands out, but I actually like doing this. This is actually a really fun skill I'm doing in a sense. So, alright, so this here, this arm, just move it outside, move this around, move that out as well, this arm. There we go. You see how I add the details like that? That's like very distinct. Now we're gonna test out something here. So I'm gonna test out first. I'm gonna see if the subdivision modifier works. So an object, I'm gonna subdivide. Okay, so it looks like that, right? You see the hands aren't really fully structured. So what to do afterwards, or what to do with this, is that you're supposed to add edge loops to it. Edge loops gives like the holding edges to make the definitions for the models themselves. To put it simply in a sense. Click on this, click on this, click on this, click on this. And then we're going to click on here, 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 click on here. Just that. Okay, so there we go. Just here, 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 just here. There we go. Same for this too as well. Here, 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 as well. As well, as well, as well. Very cool. We got ourselves our buff man, or actually that's a weird butt, so we're gonna just fix that. And then we'll do this here as well. We'll do this here as well. Here as well. Press edit. Okay, now we have ourselves the buff character. Probably gonna fix this, so just check this out. Check this out. See how I'm doing it. Now I want to make the ears less like monkey ears. I'm just gonna make them more masculine ear, just like that. Just like this in the end. Okay, cool. We got ourselves what we needed, so yeah. Now we're going to do this now. And actually fix some of this in here in the end too. All handcrafted, you see? It's all handmade. This is the art of actually doing the work and actually seeing it work in that sense. So, you see all the hand buttons and button presses I'm using? Like I said many times, this is how I'm doing it. Just for an update or a reshowing. So. Okay, so we have this now. Now for the multi-resolution. Okay, and then now it does this now. Is up, so I want to turn off subdivision. And now our character looks like this now. So, ooh, look at that! Looks like real feet in that sense. See that? Cool. We should be able to use this now. And it took us like an hour and 30 minutes or close to that. Not bad, right? If you're following along with this, you should be learning a lot more from this in the end too. This is our definite take on a buff character mesh in the end. Not to mention, I'm going to start adding creases here. Alright, you see there's a problem here as well. So before we do any of this, we need to essentially fix this part. So we're going to do separate this, and then we're going to add in a lot of edge loops here as well to make it even out. I think I know what's the problem. The problem is this edge loop here, and this edge loop here. So what we can do is that we can press this, and we're going to take these ones off. Take these ones off, and now we're going to dissolve edges. Now it looks like this, right? So now we're going to go back into the modifier, multi-resolution, and now it does this. Now our character doesn't look so it doesn't really look so should I say it? It doesn't look so there isn't really a line. So now it looks a little more functional to use. So. Now you see I'm starting to make the muscles now. Just like that. Just like that as well. Now I'm just okay, even then there's actually an issue too. So you gotta keep rechecking your work to see if there's any issues with the work itself. So in this case, there is an issue with this. There's like too many lines here. That doesn't really make any sense for like a mesh, right? So we're gonna clean that up. And then we'll press this here. We're going to essentially, this needs to be there. The nose, everything else is fine. This needs to be taken out, this needs to be taken out. So what we're going to do is dissolve edges, and now it does that. So there we go. So So now we go back into modifier in a sense. Press objects and subdivide. There. You see now it looks a little more tangible now. It doesn't look as funny as that in a sense. So there you see, we're just making it more cool in that sense. Just do this here as well. Oh wow, look at that tough man. This is a tough man indeed, you know that? Tough man. Now we're gonna put the muscles here. Muscles here as well. Put the muscles here as well too. Need more muscles here. This is how muscles work in that sense. Make this bigger. And make that smaller as well. There we go. There are now our ears too in that sense. We got our chin here too. You see there's a crease there too. That's very intentional, by the way. Okay, now we're gonna try and add some clothes. But you see what we can do with this? It's very simple in the end too. So, yeah. Okay, so now I'm gonna try and add, I'm gonna use the crease tool here, and I'm gonna just add in more details here. See what I'm doing? This is what you can do when you actually add in details like that. Or you want to, you can even add more details. Now, check that out! It's actually a real, like, sculptable thing we can use. What's cool about this is that we essentially did this using polymodeling. And you see, it shows its form in that sense too. If not, we can always return back here, press edit, and then we can essentially just add more things here to make it a little more evened out. So. There we go. And to see that does that, so we made a mistake in the end. So what we can do here is that to make it easier for us in the end, we're going to make it so that way we can actually end up seeing what we need to actually bring up and bring down. So we're going to sculpt. See, now we're going to just try and just bring that up. X. Here as well. Alright, this should be good enough now. You see what I'm doing? I'm trying to blend the details together. So I can add this here, and here as well. Not to mention I can do that as well. So I'm gonna stop this, and then see how I'm fixing it and changing it as well. And now I got more details we can use. You see? So now we can do that as well. Fix it up, and then just slowly fix the details here in the end. We're going to use flatten. I'm just going to fix this. There we go. This is something we can definitely use now, so do that as well, here as well. And then you can just create a nose here as well. Check that out. Big nozo. Same thing as last time, we're going to put the muscles here. See, retrying over and over again, you start seeing more what you can actually do in that sense. So, designing is kind of fun when you think about it in that sense. Crease polish to add in the muscles right at the right spots. So it's over here, it's over here. I'm about to add a blob here as well. And then the crease tool, crease polish. Now for the move brush. There we go. Alright, we're done with the base. So, actually, we're gonna make a copy of this because this is a really good this is a really good mesh we can technically use. So we're gonna open this up, sculpt, and for this one we're gonna apply. For this, we're gonna put this here. We're gonna apply. This is the low poly version. This is the high poly. Now we're gonna go here, and then we're gonna degenerate. Decimate, unsubdivide, and just turn this to turn it off. So it does that, right? Now we'll just do this here again. And boom. It's back to where it was in that sense. So then we click on this. Apply. Now we've got two versions we can use. For this case, we can essentially just modify UV sphere, and then we're going to go here, and then now we're going to press R, we're gonna start creating the armor. To make it quick, I'll do something very intricate. I'll make it similar to the Doomslayer's armor in that sense. And it shouldn't be too hard considering what I'm scaling up into, so check out how it's going to be played out in a sense. Control C and B, just like that. Okay, so now we're going to sculpt, and now we're going to essentially bring these back in. See the muscles here, so we'll just put this here as well. Alright, so I have to put this. Oh, that's weird, it's doing that. So, there we go. Now we'll sculpt and this. Now I can go back to edit. And press sculpt. Yeah, it's close enough. Alright, let's try using this now. So, I'll make the most things here like that. So, this here as well. And then I can actually add in this as well. Okay, now I'm going to start adding the armor. We have the base now, as you can tell, so we can start doing that now. So, first we start with a cube, and within that cube, we're going to start adding in extra pieces of armor we can use. There we go. So view, viewport, right, and then I'm going to use extra cruiser. There we go. So we can use this, and then we're going to click on this. Extrude, press front, viewport, by front, and then press Control E. Okay, so now we just use this. Control B. We're just gonna put that there. This will be one of them arm pieces we can use for this character. So actually, there's an easier way to do this. You just have to click on the edges. Just that. So our topology is better if we do this in the end. If we do it the other way around, we're going to ask ourselves for trouble. So doing this like that, this like that. There we go. And then do this like that, do this like that. Do it like that as well. I'm want to be a little bit creative for this armor piece, so this is like one set we can use. So we're going to do this here, and then do this here as well. Oh, by the way, when we create this muscle piece here in the end, we can do a lot more of this. We're going to switch the topic again and look at back at something like this. And we do something like this. And then we just put our muscles like that as well. Okay, we use that, so we have our base right now in that sense. So alright, so we have this piece we have here. We're gonna add in some details to it. We're gonna use a cylinder, press E, and then we're gonna press edit. Click on this. Let's Control E, and then we're going to turn out normals, invert the extrusion, put that there as well, put that there, this object, press W, there we go. Okay, so alright, so I want to create another copy of this because the beauty of Blender is that it's very versatile. And your modifiers is what makes it versatile in its sense. So we're going to go into decimate, do the same thing as last time, and we're going to decrease it. X. And we're going to press decimate. There. Now you see this? Now it looks like the model that we thought it was. We do it extra further on that, it looks like that. You can even do it further than that, and it looks like that, but then we have no more polygons to use. So this is what it's supposed to look like, and then we try and do this. It's what it's on the other side, so yeah. Different versions we can use, so take note on that. Okay, now for the next part, I'm going to be using the plane or the cube. I'll be doing the same thing as last time by making the parts. So for this one, I'm going to do viewport on the right, and then I'm going to do edit, extrude accuser. That's weird. Rotate source. Oh, that is weird. Ooh, that's not supposed to happen. Ah, because you see, I didn't actually check up on the face. So you click on the face, you click on that, then you can actually do it. So let's try this again. We're gonna go on front, and then actually let's do it on right. We're gonna do this again. So click on that. Viewport right. this to front. E. Okay, so we have our outer part of the armor. It looks like a sigil or some kind of part. So we're gonna use that. And then we're going to do this here. And I'm showing the full process, by the way. Now you guys can tell what I'm actually doing now. Not to mention seeing the hand structures as well and the hand process by my keyboard shortcuts and mouse shortcuts. Bingo, we got ourselves some armor we can use. Now press Ctrl A, mesh, separate by loose parts. Now it is that. So now we can put these parts here somewhere a little bit smaller here. Smaller objects, geometry. Okay, now we'll press edit and we'll press Control A. Sculpt. Alright, now I'm going to try and create the clock for this. Check this out. We'll press edit, show now, we'll press this. And then I'm going to carve out or just select the right amount of cloth I need or in the skin. So when I do this in the end, something like this, I essentially clean it up. And then afterwards, I do Control C and V. I Control E this. I do it by normals. I do this here in the end, right? There. So I do this, and I'm also going to click on. Actually, that's not really needed. Alright, I do mesh, separate by selection. Click that, turn this off. Now move this away. That I can use, and that we have a usable base for now. You see how it's very clean, but there's also some parts there you can see as well. And that's me using my assets pretty well, pretty distinguishable depending what you use it for in that sense. Now I'm just gonna just put that there. Just put that there. Okay, now for the next armor piece, I'm going to do this with pad, mesh, and cube. I'm going to do this. I'm going to click on this here too. Alright, I got to fix this as well. You see how there's a mistake here? We forgot to add in the details here. You always find mistakes when you do things in the end, and then you just start fixing it up one step at a time. There we go. This object. Now let's edit and click on this, and I'm going to do kind of here, view, viewport, from, or let's just use right. actually, this is the wrong one. So you do this here. Do like that as well. Now we move this part here. And then just move it. Simple as that. Move this here as well. Move it here as well too. And then we click on the edge here. Click on the edge here. Click on the edge here. W here. Press R. Okay, now for the beveling. So I click on this, click on these parts here, I bevel it, does that. Oh, these parts here and here, I bevel it as well. And I bevel this, actually no, I bevel this and this, bevel it as well. Alright, so we got this done. Now I'm going to join all of this. There we go, check that out. See that? I'm actually creating the pieces now. This will be the first video in the process. The second video will be the texturing and rigging. But for now, we're going to be doing just pure modeling for now. So, see that? Move it like this. Join. SR. This here like that. Like that as well. Actually, no. Gonna save. Sorry, I don't want to lose my project files. By the way, you seen all this work you see here? My mouse presses and keyboard presses? This had to be handcrafted, as you can tell. Hence, now you understand. you see. You guys know what I'm talking about now? That's pure focus work in the end, by the way, what I'm doing. So, yeah. There we go. Now I'm going to add this here. And I'm going to add this over here as well. Put that in there. And just put that there as well. Objects. Objects of transformation geometry. And put this here as well. Alright, and there you go. We have ourselves a 3D CG character that is polymodeled and afterwards refined in its character concept. This is a refined 3D CG character that's polymodeled in that sense and sculpted with care in that sense. Hence, this video that you overall saw in that sense, is everything that you see here overall in general, this is handcrafted. Because you see my hand strokes, you see my keyboard, and you see my mouse. So this time, this is a proof of concept. This is what the character's created based on what I've designed as well. So this is part 1 of the process. Process number 2, or video 2, will talk about the UV unwrapping of this character, the texturing and rigging, and maybe a weapon or so, or a weapon prop or design prop. So thank you for visiting me and or watching my videos. So yeah, this was really fun actually. So overall, now you know that yes, I created a character. A to Z, the armor, designs, even the concepts as well too, even the anatomy of the characters, the polymodeling of the base mesh of the face, hands, everything else too, and even the armor plates too, and armor designs and mechanical designs too. Thank you for watching part 1 of the video. Thank you so much. There'll be more to come, and catch you later. See ya and bye. Until the next one.